but I'm glad to be joined by so many great folks who are here today. We have Ruben Arizmendi, Chair of the Sierra Club. We have Len Herring, who is our Executive Director of the Center for Sustainable Energy. We have Chris Michel, who is President and CEO of the Downtown Partnership. Josh Brock, Director of Market Development at Renovate America. Jason Anderson, President of Clean Tech San Diego. Andy Hanshaw, Executive Director of the San Diego County Bike Coalition. Sophie Barnhorst, who's our Policy Coordinator for the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. Colin Parent, Policy Counsel for Circulate San Diego. We have Tricia Stoll, Sustainability Officer at Point Loma Nazarene University. And Dr. Daniel Kayan, a research meteorologist at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography. There's probably more folks here, but thank you all for coming. Everybody who's standing up here today represents the widespread support that we've been able to bring together for the City of San Diego's Climate Action Plan. Environmentalists support it, business leaders support it, and our community supports it. That's because San Diego is a city that innovates, and we are a city where our environment is central to our quality of life. It's part of who we are. And that's why I'm proud that our Climate Action Plan will help our communities thrive and create the green jobs of tomorrow. And we're here today to make a special announcement. As you know, our Climate Action Plan calls for an annual report to show the progress that we've made on reducing greenhouse gas emissions throughout the city. And as the saying goes, what gets measured gets managed. And measuring our progress each year will tell us what's working and where we need to adjust course. Some actions will have better than expected results, and some will have less. But the ultimate goal, as I think everybody knows and that we are committed to, is to cut our greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2035. And that's the baseline year we use for that goal is 2010. But we haven't analyzed our GHG levels since then until now. The city hired an independent consultant to provide an update based upon the data from the 2015 calendar year. And the results show that we are making significant progress on cutting greenhouse gas emissions. We are already ahead of schedule. Under the Climate Action Plan, we were expected to reduce GHG emissions by 15% by the year 2020. And according to this new analysis, I'm happy to announce that greenhouse gas emissions have been slashed by 17% in San Diego. We are making significant and meaningful progress. I also want you to keep in mind that the analysis covers a period of time almost entirely before the Climate Action Plan was adopted last December. Some of the reductions occurred because of state mandates and programs such as our vehicle efficiency standards. And it's also very important to note that SDG&E contributed to our GHG reductions by growing the share of renewable energy in its portfolio. And the numbers also show that our city government and our residents have been working on this issue well before the Climate Action Plan went into effect. And that's very good news. The city implemented a bike sharing program that has been adding more and more bike lanes. We've also been diverting trash from our landfill, capturing methane from wastewater treatment, and installing solar panels on city buildings for years. All of these contribute big and in small ways to improve our environment and reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. I'd also like to point out one other thing. While we've reduced our GHG levels as a city by 17%, that was before we included nearly $130 million for projects and programs related to the Climate Action Plan in this year's budget. From advancing our water purification recycling program, to installing energy-efficient streetlights, to planting trees, to building new sidewalks. All of these things and more are happening right now and will continue on the momentum that we are collectively behind. This new report shows that we're ahead of schedule and on the right trajectory to meet our climate action goals. But make no mistake, there is a lot of work to do. It takes our continued commitment. This is a long-range plan, and there are many steps that will need to be taken along the way. What we have now with this report is an update on where we're at. We'll continue to do reports every year to make sure that we are on the right track. So I wanted to thank everybody who's here today. This is a collective effort. Rarely do you see such an issue that engenders such strong coalition and support across the spectrum. As I said, protecting our environment is part of who we are as San Diegans, and so I'm proud of everybody's help and everybody's collective hard work and support. And now I'd like to introduce Cody Hooven, who is the city's Chief Sustainability Officer, to explain the report a little further. Cody, come on up. Thanks for all your help. Great job. Thanks, Cody.
Thank you, everybody. I'm very excited to be part of a city that's leading the way in climate action. We're one of just a few cities in the country finding a nexus between economy and business, social equity, and climate action. I think I have probably the best job in the city, aside from you, Mr. Mayor.
You do. You do.
So I'd like to share just a few more of the details of the Climate Action Plan and a report. Mr. Mayor went through a few of them, but our energy grid is now 35% renewable energy, grid-wide and city-wide, thanks to the efforts of the state and SDG&E. Our targets for 2035 are to achieve 100% renewable energy. We're also number 2 in rooftop solar in the nation, thanks to many savvy homeowners and businesses. We've reduced our water use by 16 gallons per capita. Our target for 2020 is to reduce 11, so we've surpassed that. We're now diverting 64% of our waste from the landfill to recycling, compost, and other better uses. And our target for 2020, again, is 75%, so we're well on our way. The city's also capturing 75% of landfill gas. Our target for 2020, 80%. We're getting there. We're getting pretty close. We're also capturing and using 93% of methane from our wastewater treatment. And our target for 2020, again, 98%. We have a 13% urban tree canopy cover currently. That's great news for us. Our target for 2020 is to hit 15%. Again, well on our way. And in our own facilities, to demonstrate us how we're walking the talk, we've reduced our energy use 6% in our own facilities citywide. We've also piloted some metrics in the report you'll see around social equity that we'll continue to refine going forward. Few other cities in the country are actually doing this. So tracking our progress is a fairly technical exercise with a lot of details, and some of our methodologies have changed, and in some cases we just have better data. This is why reporting our progress each year will be important. And while this is great news, it doesn't mean we can rest on our laurels. We still have a lot of work to do, and I'm really looking forward to working with all of our partners that you see here and all San Diegans to continue to break new ground and be a model for other cities to follow. Thank you.
Thanks, Cody. Well done. Thank you, Cody. Thank you. Next up, I'd like to introduce Len Herring from the Center for Sustainable Energy. Admiral?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, and thanks very much for having us here. I first want to commend our city leaders for making such a significant commitment to the reduction of greenhouse gases, building upon state mandates and moving San Diego into the forefront, showing other major cities across the country how it can be done, so that others can see that working together with business leaders and community, a climate action plan of this magnitude can in fact be passed across the aisle. San Diego CAP aligns perfectly with CSE's mission. It truly looks to accelerate the transition of a clean energy future for a sustainable San Diego, not allowing for the evolution of transition to occur, but accelerate the transition so that we make decisions to cause action that are taken today for a brighter, more environmentally safe community for our citizens. San Diego is clearly leading by example. They are having tough conversations with community and businesses and taking measured approaches towards executing required actions, as demonstrated by many of the projects that the mayor just outlined, and by still underway those projects which are yet to be put into place. There's still a lot of work to do, and this is only the beginning. But the Climate Action Plan is a sound environmental policy that demonstrates tremendous economic development and innovative opportunities for the citizens of San Diego and the region as a whole. It affords growth and a better quality of life in America's finest city. The tools and technologies that we need to support the CAP are actually here. What we need to do, however, is to make absolutely certain that the decisions and the metrics are used to ensure that the return of investment is exactly what we expect. More importantly, as the holder of the Equinox project, we'll be measuring that on a regular basis, and we are absolutely thrilled to tell you that the products already in this year are in the plus. San Diego has been blessed with local industry, businesses, government, and consumers who have taken the leadership roles in adopting programs that encourage energy efficiency, distributed solar, energy storage, building performance, community planning, cleaner vehicles for greenhouse gas reductions, and reducing technologies as such. The progress we have made is commendable, but the CAP has a much broader mandate. To ramp up to these aggressive goals. We will need to plan ahead and work hard to attain those last few percentage points. The sector is large and no one portion can solve the entire piece, but I am absolutely certain that San Diego has the commitment to make certain that all of those things work. Since its inception, CSE has been intimately involved with San Diego's journey, and last month, CSE celebrated its 20th anniversary. We live in a city and support a city that passed the first climate action plan looking for a 100% renewable future unanimously across the aisle. We have something to be very proud of, and we too are looking forward to the next 20 years, because in our 40th celebration, we will be able to trumpet the fact that we live in a 100% renewable, sustainable community. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite Chris Michelle from the Downtown San Diego Partnership. Chris?
Thank you. Well, thank you, Mayor, for your leadership as always. Today, we celebrate the very real differences that this plan is making on our community. Under the Mayor's leadership, San Diego business community has been committed to achieving these goals, but not by following a rigid formula, but by tapping into the abundance of brilliance and creativity that San Diego brings to every problem we solve. Think about it. 20 years ago, Google, Facebook, Uber, they didn't exist. And yet today, they are words and companies that we use every single day. So as our world rapidly changes, so must our solutions to our problems. And that's what this plan promises. It allows us to tap into that creativity and problem solve for tomorrow's problems today. So think about it. Today we celebrate Petco Park. State-of-the-art power-saving LED lights they are using. Real-time utility monitoring, thank you to SDG&E and OSI Soft, and a comprehensive recycling program. It makes them a leader in America's sports venues. And today we celebrate FRED, Free Ride Everywhere Downtown. It's a people mover system, but it is all electric. One in which 5 years ago it would have been a circulator system, rubber wheeled and probably not electric. But today it will be, and when fully operational, we will have 60 vehicles. This commitment to protecting the environment against climate change is not just the right thing to do, as the mayor says, but it's also an imperative to building a resilient economy and attracting young, talented professionals who care deeply about social responsibility. Over the next 3 years, by 2020, 50% of our workforce will be in the millennial category. That is a majority of our workforce, and we need to recognize that they care about this. And if we are to attract the best and the brightest, we too need to care. So Mayor Faulconer, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Congratulations on your milestone today, and congratulations to the City of San Diego for its Climate Action Plan goals.
Yes, and our last speaker will be Josh Brock with Renovate America. Josh?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, we couldn't be prouder. We're a San Diego-based company, and it's important for us that we live in a community that has clean energy and has a commitment to making a difference in the environment. For us, Renovate America is making it possible for Americans to lower their utility bill and to improve their homes while reducing carbon emissions that are responsible for climate change. Our HERO program allows homeowners to defer the upfront cost that are the common barriers to making these type of upgrades, such as efficiency and renewable energy. And considering that the residential sector accounts for 1/5 of all emissions in the economy, this makes it all that more important that we give solutions to this part of our economy. And I'm proud to announce as of this month, the HERO program will have financed more than $2 billion in energy efficiency, renewable energy, and water-saving upgrades across more than 80,000 homes in California. And when you factor in the useful life of these improvements that have been installed, we'll be saving 12.5 billion kilowatt hours. And to put that in perspective, that's enough energy to power the entire city of San Diego for 15 months. Additionally, these improvements will be saving over 3 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions over the course of their improvements. Finally, as the city of San Diego transitions to a clean, renewable energy future, solar is going to be a huge part of that. Having not only solar available through the grid through SDG&E and their efforts, but also making sure that homeowners and businesses have the ability to install solar on their rooftops is really important. We're proud that we've financed more than 125 megawatts of solar across California, and here locally, we've been able to finance 5.5 megawatts of solar across more than 2,000 homes and businesses. We thank the City of San Diego for their leadership, and we're proud to be a hometown business. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Appreciate everybody being here. Again, this has been a collective effort from the very beginning, off to a great start. We're going to continue to do this every single year, monitor, measure, hold ourselves accountable, and do the right thing for this city for the very long term. That's what this is all about. So thank you all for being here on a beautiful, not so cool day, and all of us will be available for any questions one-on-one and preferably in the shade. Thanks, guys. Thank you, man.